but it says that you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. Okay, you attract the thing that resonates with you. So in order to attract success, in order to attract happiness, you have to build that from within. You have to fill your cup first and let it overflow. So what about future time? Well, your mind keeps dragging you into the future as well. And the two main um, ways it drags you into the future is either by making you worry about things that may happen, or kind of promising happiness in the future if you only acquire certain things, right? And so I know that for me, that's been an ongoing topic where I used to think that if only I get that promotion at work, you know, then I'll feel okay about myself. If I only manage to get such and such car, then I'll feel okay about myself. And for the past, say, 6, 7 years, I was in this kind of escalation mode when it came to cars up until somewhere about 9 months ago, where I finally sold this sports car that I had always dreamt of having. And of course, it didn't make me happy, so I sold it, and that was fine. But what I realized is, okay, now that I've had this sports car and it didn't make me happy, or it didn't deliver on that blissful promise of how my life is exactly the way I want it to be, I now have a choice between one of two paths. I can either continue that escalation. In other words, I can say to myself, yeah, but this one wasn't exactly the model that I wanted. I wanted the more powerful one with the tail lights that look a little bit more like this or whatever. So that's more of the same, is doing more of what didn't deliver, right? And the other path was to say, well, you know what? I've now learned that this stuff doesn't deliver, and so I'm trying to choose that, but it's a choice that I found myself having to make over and over again, because my brain keeps, and advertising industry keep coming up with all these reasons why, if you only buy this, that'll be like, oh, then your life will truly be better than it is right now. Um, so so the promise of happiness in the future is a huge one. I might talk about worrying later, but this whole idea that the future holds some kind of salvation, some kind of blissful happiness, and it holds it because it is the place where the person that you want, or this career that you've always been dreaming about, or this talent that you're working towards acquiring, it is in the future. You get it in the future, and therefore the future is going to make you happy by delivering on those things. Okay, so it's kind of dangling that carrot in front of you, and you're chasing it, right? Like you're blindly hacking away, and sort of working diligently, and trying all these strategies, and you're keeping yourself essentially away from present reality, because you are constantly projecting yourself into this future that holds some kind of promise of things turning around for you, and becoming amazing. And what Eckhart Tolle says in The Power of Now is that the future is not going to deliver on that, because when the future arrives, is going to arrive as the now. So let's explore that for a moment. Okay, so as I was saying earlier, I'm standing here right now doing this video for you guys, and as I do, I'm standing in what yesterday seemed to be the future. Okay, but this doesn't feel like that future that was going to deliver bliss once I filmed this video. It just feels like now. And whatever future you have coming, it's when it arrives, it's only just gonna feel like now. Okay? So if you haven't learned to be happy in the now, when that future arrives and it feels like the now again, you're still not gonna be happy. Okay? You're gonna be in the same mode of thinking and the same vibe that you are right now. And part of the reason for that is because you have trained yourself to delay happiness and make it contingent. So you have what you could call conditional happiness. Okay, you you have told yourself that you are not going to give yourself permission to be happy unless and until certain things come to pass in the future. Okay? Now, um, right now, that may seem like a very logical thing, but when those things arrive, if they arrive in the now, you have them, you have this little burst of sort of happiness, and then your mind starts to immediately create reasons why your life is still not quite complete. And there's a couple of things in the future, and when you get those, then you're going to be happy. And so the reason for that is because that's what you've trained your mind to do. Okay, you've trained your mind to hold happiness in a conditional way, based on things that will happen in the future. So that's what it does. It just waits for things in the future to make you happy, and you withhold happiness from yourself. Okay, um, and so that's an insane way to live, but it's also considered normal in our society, right? So you think, well, it's only when you get that house or when you get that spouse or whatever that you're gonna be happy. So here's the biggest irony of it all. Not only are those things not gonna make you happy when they arrive, but your likelihood of getting them is far, far lower when you are coming from that place of need and unhappiness, because you are not making space for them to come in. You are just not drawing them in. Now, I have fairly conflicted views about the law of attraction. I think that there's a lot of wishful thinking when it comes to just like, oh, just think positive and feel good and things are going to manifest out of nowhere. Well, um, to a degree. I believe that when you are in a positive state of mind and trying to cultivate happiness from within for no reason other than because you can, you start to have better interactions with people, but also your focus starts to shift away from certain things and onto others, right? And there's